And I want to shout out Vuulm for having me. Go cop that Vuulm app right now.
Fuck you mean? I'm as heartless as I ever fucking been. Give a life thinking we wanna know what you mean. There's a leopard, there's a lady that lives at the team. Poison. Run. Get away, get away. Run. One city, Shah, need direct. You know I land and love you, live it up. Fucking with the snare, got me addicted to the venom. Cause no matter how good I keep running back to the poison. Run. Get away. Run. Running back to the poison. Run. Get away. Had some cold nights, you could see the oxygen. Oh, used to be a young girl at the ottoman. Now I'm taking money at the bank without the hostages. Addicted to the Benjamin, started out of Washington. Poison. Run. Get away.
Loving Austin. I'm loving this place. I think Austin's the only place in Texas I've really spent time so far. And I'm really feeling the vibe. This is the one, this is the new joint, Poison. I had no idea that Austin was so photogenic. It was sort of like Miami. Just everywhere you look, there's scenes. So we have Jason, Patrick, and Liz here with me, and they just started shooting. So we'll have something probably in 3 weeks, which sometimes for us, we're a bit perfectionist when it comes to video. It can be like months down the line, but this one will be quick. So what's happened recently is I think Atlanta has given me the Atlanta exposed me to a lot of rappers who talk about their darkness, their experiences that you normally wouldn't try flexing in a way where it still sounds dope. It's not on some, it still sounds strong in a way that really touched me and has influenced my own art. So what Poison is the beginning of me sort of being a bit more vulnerable with my art. And the songs that I've written since then that haven't yet been released are on the same vein, where it's like I'm talking about the less glamorous side of life. And, I'm a rapper, and obviously the cliches, we talk about all the glorious things, and we try to sort of maybe compensate for, earlier times in life, or harder, whatever it is. But now I'm getting into the space where I can just really be open and honest. So Poison is specifically getting into those things where you shouldn't be going and back for doing this thing that feels good. And there's a downside to it, and it's something bad, but it feels good, and you just keep running back. So that's what it's about. Keep running back to the Poison. So I'm from Toronto, born and raised. I'm a Toronto boy. And then how I got to Atlanta was, it was supposed to be for one day. At the end of 2016, it's supposed to be for one show, in and out, less than 24 hours. But then the love that I got in Atlanta was more than expected. So it's like, oh, there's a lot of fans here. And this is still the beginning of my come up, basically, when fans is the thing that is the hardest thing to do for a independent rapper. So then it's like fans here, and the industry sort of knows who I am, and they're fucking with me. And things are out in the open in Atlanta. So if you want to sort of make things happen, and you can hustle, then you can climb in Atlanta. Whereas in Toronto and New York and LA, there's a lot of money there, and there's a lot of opportunity, but the opportunities aren't really out in the open. So that's how so with Atlanta going well, that day turned into a week, and it just turned into, I'm still there right now. Being independent, at one point it started as being sort of fundamentally important to me, because I'm someone who, I don't like being told anything by anybody. So you become an artist, and you expect to, at least I became an artist so that I could live the way that I want. So from a creative perspective, it's like, yeah, being in control of what I create that's a must. Now, as things grow and there's real success and things are flourishing, now you see, and I don't know if it's that the music industry is changing or just doors are opening, but you can sort of start to have both ways. Or maybe it's sort of a thing where it's like people believe in the thing that I'm creating, so it's like, yeah, let you do your own thing, and then you can advance and accelerate with people investing in a way that you don't lose ownership, or you don't lose control. So I'm not someone who is inherently like, oh, I need to be independent and that's it. I think that's sort of, one of these industry gimmicks where, you have a rapper who's signed up and down, but there's this like romantic notion of independent rapper and he's the underdog and all that. So yeah, so I am doing it independently, but it's not like there's some principle about being independent that I inherently care about, Like I mentioned earlier, the Atlanta artists that hit me, it's like, oh, they're doing something. The new rapper who had the strip clubs on lock when I landed in Atlanta first was Lucci. I love Lucci, and I think Lucci's influenced a lot of the sound that you hear today. Kind of like how Future did a little while ago. I think Lucci's really started the wave for a lot of people, a lot of trap music. Derez Deshawn is another one who I really respect. I think anyone who just puts their pain out there and without trying to milk it for anything more than just telling you who they are is dope. Lil Donald is another Atlanta rapper who I think is, doing dope work. And then someone actually asked me this exact same thing, and then the exact same answer is them three, and then, Kendrick's got it. Like, Kendrick is still someone who's doing something meaningful. He's saying something, and it's good, and it's not preachy. It's just like, So those are the type of artists that I really respect, and that's who I'd roll with. So there's a good and there's a, like, as an artist, there's a good and a bad. The good is that anyone can theoretically like make music. It doesn't, especially rap music. You can have someone making beats with a computer, and you can be recording into not an inexpensive setup, clean it up. You can have music. You listen to some Atlanta music that sounds dope. It wasn't even mixed, like meaning that not a lot of effort was put into the production of it. So and then you can distribute your music sort of on your own. You can get it onto a YouTube or a SoundCloud without needing any middleman. This isn't new news. It's been like this for a minute. But that, I guess, is the good news, in that you can create art on your own and then put it out there. The bad news is because it's so easy, everybody can do it. And, because rap looks like a glamorous life, there's a lot of people who do it, to the point where it's really just watered down. Like, what it means to be a rapper or what it means to just put out music has, it's taken a hit. Like right now, the brand of rapper overall, depending on where you're at, it might not be that high because anyone can be a rapper. So then what ends up happening then on the downside is that because it's so watered down and because there's so many people making music that, it's not easy to be good. So then there's so much, like mediocre music out there that just the idea of listening to a new song is not really something that's very attractive to just your average person. Like, well, I don't want to hear my cousin's mixtape, So then you have to like get through all that. So that's the downside. So I would say it's easy to make music, but then it's harder to get the exposure you need to get popping. But then all that is just hard work. And if you're smart, then that'll pick things up. And if you've got dough to spend, that'll pick things up. But if nothing else, if you're good, then hard work will get you there. It just might take some time. It's your boy Shah. Y'all can come find me, Day of Shah, on all platforms. That's Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, all that. And today is the day that the new joint Poison dropped. So go cop that. Hit up Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to music. Go cop that. It's your boy Shah, and thank y'all for having me.